It almost seems pointless to do an introduction for a video about Half-Life, cause it's Half-Life, you know what this is about. My introduction with the series was with the PS2 co-op game that nobody played. But you know what game everybody has played? Counter-Strike. Dust 2, Inferno, Mirage, smoking that window, doing some 360 no-scoping. Well, Counter-Strike used to be a Half-Life mod at first. But apparently some people never even heard of Counter-Strike, which is like coming out of a rainstorm dry. But that aside, it's physically impossible not to know about Garry's Mod. Everyone knows about Garry's Mod in some shape or form. Come on, like, the release of Garry's Mod is basically our generation's invention of the wheel. But even if you don't know Garry's Mod, you know Fortnite, right? Everybody knows Fortnite. It's everywhere. It has everything. It has consumed. It's like a black hole that's sucking everything in. It's a fucking huge billboard for advertisement. But however, Fortnite has a backpack with Male 07 on it. At least a off-brand one. Male 07 is one of the skins in Garry's Mod. Garry's Mod is basically Half-Life models, and the reason that's inside Fortnite is because, well, some things happened, and that things caused some other things, and that, yeah, I give up on this. But before Gmod and CS and Half-Life, there was a time that there was nothing. Then everything started with Doom. When Doom came out, everything went to shit. People lost their minds that video games are not just about Mario getting cocked by a fucking turtle. What? You get to kill demons in hell with guns? You also get a chainsaw? One interesting individual played Doom and said that video games are sick as hell, dude. Direct quote, I was there. Then he played Mario 64 and said that video games are an art form, man. So he went on and created his own video game company, and he made some games. He also made some money, and he also put trains in video games.
The time is 8:47 a.m.
This train ride might not seem anything special today. If anything, most players will find it annoying. But before this, first-person shooters just start with you somewhere next to the enemy with no context at all. You're a guy who shoots people with guns. That's all we got. Most of classic FPS games, with the exception of maybe System Shock, were not created to tell a story. They were created to be a replacement for crack. John Carmack, who is one of the developers of Doom and co-founder at id Software, said that video game stories are like stories in porn movies. It's there, but nobody really cares, which... come on, John. There are porn videos out there with better plots than the first two Dooms. What you have to take into account is that this code is old. Back then, video games were just a full level of enemies, and that was it. You just had to go around and kill everybody, then go to the next level to do the same thing again. It was pure, engaging gameplay that everywhere you looked was something hiding to kill you or to be killed. And putting a stupid ass story there has to be the dumbest idea of... Yeah, John, I think you kind of blundered with the thing you said 40 years ago. The premise of Half-Life is about a lab experiment going wrong. A tale as old as time, we have heard it so many times, it's not unique, it's not special. But what makes Half-Life's story special, it's the way it's told and the twists and turns that it has. Obviously you got the resonance cascade happening, then you got the HECU, which are there to kill Freeman and any of the witnesses. Then you got the Black Ops, aka the CIA's buttery agents, which are there to kill basically everyone. And then aliens that mind control other aliens, and also big aliens and this bigger baby alien. And G-Man, who's a bit of a conspiracy subject. I'm not even gonna pretend to know what he is or what he wants. But this weird creature that works beyond humans in the galaxies also has employers. So yeah, Half-Life's story might not be a Shakespearean epic, but it is for sure really entertaining.
Relieving you of your
The game when it came out was not only a new perspective on first-person shooters, but it was also a technical marvel. But I think what really sold people on the game was how believable yet alien this world was. Most video games back then, when you boot them up, either had a 3D rendered cutscene or a live-action teaser. But there was nothing like this tram ride, taking you deep into the facility and letting you look in whatever direction you want to look at. And this is literally where it starts. You can look at the scientists talk with each other and interact with the lab, or try to connect emotionally with a vending machine. You can also talk with them yourself and maybe, maybe do some tomfoolery.
Stop fucking with the microwave.
But most importantly, you can actually use the vending machine yourself and get a soda. Chugging them gives you 1 health, but in real life they give you stage 2 diabetes. But to quote Gaben again, realism isn't fun, you piece of shit. Outside of talking with the NPCs, you can also use their help on multiple things like healing and opening doors. It might seem really superficial and basic on the surface level, but it really isn't. Because when I was recording footage of the scientist doing CPR on one of the Barneys, I stood there for 50 seconds to get some good footage. Then to my surprise, he manages to bring him back to life. Holy shit, this is the unsung hero of Half-Life. One thing that blew my mind on my recent playthrough was if you shoot one of the scientists near Barney, he proceeds to shoot you back, and if you do the vice versa and kill Barney, the scientist starts to run away from Gordon. The world of Half-Life makes sense. You don't find guns and ammo when you kill aliens, cause it doesn't make any sense. You get them mostly from killing human enemies. So this encourages you to not waste ammo on these aliens, since it would be inefficient. One big marketing factor was that the world reacts to the player. If you shoot a wall, you can see your bullets impacting the wall. If you throw an explosive out, you can see the entire room getting affected by it. If you shoot one of the vending machines, you could see the sodas coming out of it like marbles out of a marble machine. See, that's cutting edge technology. Not these RTX, DLSS and AI generated fit pics. I want complex vending machines in video games. Having a functional light switch is kinda cool for the first couple of times. Then it becomes a minuscule detail that nobody really cares about aside from the people who market it. But what if you create a room filled with electrifying water that if you turn the light switch off, you could just walk around in it with no problem at all? That's how you turn a marketing gimmick into a gameplay mechanic, although a very small one. First time I played Half-Life and shot one of those vending machines, I was like, okay, there is no way it's getting better, but to my surprise, this game gets quite wacky down the line.
Can I break this? Okay. Oh my god, you're I'm stunned. I'm genuinely stunned by that. I don't even know what to say. Holy shit!
The gun variety is something that most people overlook when playing Half-Life, since you get so much ammo for your SMG that it's basically pointless to use anything else. But then you decide, oh, let's play in hard mode, what could go wrong? I got a huge gamer boner and I'm a grown ass man. Come on, don't be a pussy, come on. Woo! Oh my god. That's where you start to appreciate all the other equipment that you have. Half-Life is not a heaven for experimentation. It's not an immersive sim. But it does give the player enough space so they could run around on their own pace. Yes, you could go in and blast everybody with a shotgun, but what if you send the snarks in and watch as the chaos emerges into the room? But what if you want to be a quick loading, quick saving piece of shit that traps the entire room with mines and satchels so you could spawn kill everybody? Anything you do in this game, you can feel the weight behind it. This is attributed to genius sound design, and who can forget the physics and the animations in the game or the franchise. When Gordon falls on a box, you can see it breaking layer by layer, then it shatters, causing these small wooden pieces on the floor. When you shoot someone, they flinch and ask for medical attention. When shootout happens near the science team, they enter a panic mode. When somebody dies near you, you can see them and hear them getting chopped off into pieces. Some of these stuff are not as impressive as they were 27 years ago, but this game came out 27 years ago, and you gotta respect the elderly. Shout out to all my viewers above the age of 27. There is probably 4 of you out there. But no matter how much I gush about this game, it's not the reason you see Half-Life assets in videos and mods everywhere. Partially, Valve is the reason, but mostly it's the people who make those. When your games have such huge time gaps between them, you want to make sure that you hand over the tools to the community so they could create their own fun. They play the game, they get inspired, and maybe want to create something of their own. Something beyond what the original developers even dreamt of, like a functional 3D Sonic game in the Doom engine. Imagine a world that Gaben saw Gary's mod and said, that's our intellectual property, don't fucking do that. Don't fucking imagine that. Don't do it. Cause there would be no joy in that world. No Idiot Box, no Linkin Park, no Rift. Yes, I did start my career by making dumb Gmod videos. Thankfully they got like 4 views. Yeah, I think we can all agree that Valve is kind of a big deal. And if you don't know them for any of the reasons that I talked about for the past 10 minutes, you probably know them for making a little app called Steam. And if you don't know anything about Steam, you're either a 28-year-old grandmother or a 30-year-old caveman that came back to life and stole the phone. Please go give it back. Listen, I'm not saying that Steam is perfect and Valve is run by little fairy angels who do no wrong cause their corporation is fueled by love and not money and CSGO skins. But there is a reason that 34 million people right now are logged into Steam and not fucking Uplay or whatever they call it now. They should just rename it to, I don't know, uselesspieceofshit.com. Their monopoly over PC gaming is caused by, of course, Valve offering a better than good service, but it's really because competition is dead and buried. The only other launcher, maybe aside from this one, that even comes close to Steam is the Epic Game Launcher. Oh, let me cut the music off so I could imply that was a joke. Just to close my argument with a simple analogy, Valve is playing chess while these motherfuckers are playing Fortnite. I know Valve supporting mod developers and smaller studios is not as common as it used to be, but it's still to some degree heartwarming that they don't try to mess up with every fan project. Cause there's a lot of good that comes out with people using these assets. Just a few weeks ago I saw a mod for Half-Life 1 and went in thinking, oh, this is going to be fun, and came out.
Please heal me.
Let me take care of that wound for you.
What?
I think it's safe to assume that Half-Life exists to push boundaries, whether it's changing how we perceive video games or pushing technological borders. So one can only dream what Half-Life 3 would be if there would be any Half-Life 3. But don't worry guys, I had some visions last night and I want to share them. I want to share my predictions. So next year at the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley is there talking about Uberdash or whatever he talks about. Then Gaben comes to the stage and he doesn't even say a single word yet people are already hyped out of their fucking minds. And after that, 3 logos fade in behind them. Left 4 Dead 3, people are very hyped beyond containment, and then he announces Team Fortress 3. This results in a drop in the elderly population. Their hearts all fucking stopped for getting new content. And what comes next is something that we all thought it would. Okay, you know what this is, right? Right? No, it's not Hollow Knight Silksong. Don't be delusional. They don't even hold the rights to that game. It's, of course, Day of Defeat 2. It's a new turn-based VR game. Also Ricochet 2.